Hey everyone, it's Kenlyn and welcome back to my channel for the Astro and Energy Report for the week of March 3rd. It's a big week in a very big month, and the weeks are just going to get bigger and bigger. And so in this report, I'm going to share with you how you can get alongside of this tsunami, the earthquake, or the raging fire that wants to rip through our lives, burn to the ground that which is not going forward, so that we can rebuild, reinvent, reimagine, emerge as a butterfly from the chrysalis. I don't want to freak anyone out, but it is the biggest month of 2025. And that's because of the big shifts that are happening and the call to action to let go. This is a decluttering energy. This is a removal energy. And your touchstone for this month is going to be do not add gasoline onto the fire. Write that down. I sometimes have to put Post-it notes to remind myself, because you could be ignited in a way that triggers you. And when you're triggered, it's a beautiful opportunity to look at what needs your attention, what needs to be healed, what you need to see through. That's where the ego mind identity has found its home. And so we get to do some cleaning out. Why? Because this kind of pressure and heat produces a diamond. And we talked about that in the Goddess Convergence. Some of you were there. It was awesome to be with you. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of last week, we had 4 hours a day of activating the new codes of the goddess. And we talked about this crystalline diamond energy, that's what we're cultivating in the time of this outer demise, this outer change, this outer breakdown, the upheaval. It's so that we on the inside can become pure and clear and focused. And that's what this month is all about. So it's always for us and not against us. And it's going to feel big. And everyone's chart is different. So you may want to look into that to be forewarned about what's going to happen. But I'm going to lay out some dates. And I'll say that if you weren't at Goddess Convergence, you can still get the activations. They're going to live inside of the vault. And you can feed yourself these activations every day as part of maybe your Venus sadhana. A sadhana is a daily spiritual practice. And Venus is going retrograde from March 1st for about 40-ish days. And I love to take on a sadhana during these auspicious times. And one of your sadhanas can be to watch an activation every day and nourish yourself with the context of sisterhood, the context of why you said yes to be here on planet Earth during like the craziest time, the change of an age. It is always nuts when we're in the transition. And we're in this transition. We've been in this transition since 2020, and we're coming to a close and the opening of something very new that we've never seen before. There's also opportunities for a quantum leap in consciousness. That's what that diamond consciousness is. If there's anything that gets you on point and focus and stop messing around with the bullshit in your lives, stop going down the drama triangle, stop feeding these demons in your life, it is pressure. Pressure will do it. Because you'll see that if I throw gasoline on a fire, it just burns the whole forest. Otherwise, I can practice self-discipline. And that's what a sadhana is all about. This daily practice gets you in the mode of discipline, of commanding your mind. Right? So here we go. I'm going to lay this out through the lens of the Venus retrograde. There's other things, big things coming. I may or may not presence them, but I'll get them on future videos. So let's start with March 1st. Venus stationed retrograde in Aries. Aries is the initiator. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's when we get into Aries season, it is the beginning of the astrological new year. And that happens with the equinox. And we're coming to that same initiation point, and Venus will be in retrograde. So Aries is also the sign of sovereignty, of bold action, of that I am consciousness. It's not a we consciousness. That's on the other side of that axis in Libra. In Aries, it's about me. I am. So when Venus is there and going retrograde, it's going to be about tending to the inside of you, tending to the things that are feeling broken, that need your nourishment, your attention, that need your loving care, that need to be healed. Pain bodies, stories, childhood wounds, like all of that, that's in the way of your highest expression of your sovereignty. So that's that. And unfortunately, in this mode, we're not really caring about other people. So in some ways, that's good. That takes the attention right here on what is in your lane. And on other ways, there will be less availability for other people's problems, other people's dramas. And not that that's unfortunate, because that could be fortunate, and it might feel alone. I think that's what I'm getting at. This Venus retrograde also coincides with this time period in the Christian church called Lent. I love that there's this period right before the resurrection, the opening of the new, this new consciousness, the emergent new self is happening after the 40-day period. So there's this death period, this inward period, this purification. So during this Lenten period, you fast, you give up something. You really pay attention to what you're putting in your mouth. So it's a good time to give up sugar, dairy, or gluten as a gift, as an offering for who you get to become. Not just to clean out your body, even though that's going to happen too. It's also a really good time to fast. So if you've thought about intermittent fasting or fasting for 24 hours or up to 3 days, if your body is prepared for that, is like a beautiful time of cleaning out. It cleans out all the old dead cells, as well as it opens you to spiritual gnosis. That's why in these traditions, there's always been fasting alongside of praying. So we're entering into that kind of energy. So anything that you're doing that is incongruent with that energy probably will fall flat. This is a good time to actually share that I have a course that I'm offering during that period called Divine Direction, Your Divine Direction. As we enter this chrysalis, you're going to shift and change. And so this is about receiving the new codes, emptying out the old codes. We got here from our ancestors, from the old codes, and not all of them get to go with us into our new future. So Divine Direction is this 4-session course that I'm leading live, real time with sisters in an intimate setting to support the new codes, your specific new codes coming through you. So I'm going to put that link below along with the link of the activations. Anything that can support you. If it's resonant with you, then just jump in. It's a perfect time to do this kind of chrysalis work before you emerge as that butterfly. And I'll tell you when that's going to happen, because it is going to happen. This breakdown period, this inferno of parts of our lives is for us, not against us. And the reason why is because it's preparing us for a totally new normal. We've been on this path since 2020, and we're really at the end of that now, because the new frequencies are coming through. It's not linear, but it's coming through at the same time as the letting go. And then we're going to be in a period of quantum leaping. That's what this Venus retrograde is giving us if we get alongside of the purification. So let me share a couple other things. These are some of the words that you might want to write down as part of this 40-day sadhana, this spiritual practice that Venus is offering us, and that is purging, decluttering, fasting, purifying, forgiveness, reckoning, and even self-honesty. It's a time to really take stock of who you've been being, where you've fallen short, what you could do better, how open has your heart been, not to condemn you, because you already know that when you're critical and condemning, you just keep all of that in place. But as a true seeing, a true reckoning, because if you don't see it and you're not willing to see it, then you'll take it with you in the new normal, in the new world. Okay. We're going to have an eclipse, a full moon eclipse coming up on, I think it's March 12th, 13th, and I'll talk about that later. It's a south node eclipse, so it is all about letting go. So in Goddess Convergence, we planted new seeds, but those seeds are in the ground. They're in the fertile void. They're still in the dirt. That's a 6-month cycle that we start to see the seeds sprout. So this is part of that tending to the soil. And then here's your third date. That is March 22nd. That's where Venus and the sun meet in this cazimi, like Venus is in the heart of the sun. That's also called a star point. I feel like that is a benefic point in this Venus journey. She's still retrograde, but something benefic will open up inside of your heart. So prepare for that. That's actually the day that my Saturn return is direct. So I have that on my calendar. I'm going to be doing lots of pujas on that day, offerings with fire to God Goddess to clear out anything that doesn't serve. Okay. And then after that March 23rd, 24th period, as I said, with that gift that you're given with Venus in the heart of the sun, there will be some new clarity coming through. It won't be maybe a time for action. And this is right when divine direction starts. So we're going to be able to harness that clarity that's coming through, to talk about it, to be mirrored in it, to give it voice, give it airtime, because that's the thing that's percolating, that's going to be that through line that you're going to see. Then March 27th, Venus is still in retrograde. She's actually now in Pisces. Wow. This is when it starts to come together. So you can see March 1st, and then we've got total breakdown happening over that mid-March period. And then as we move out of that mid-March period into the 20s, we start to feel the opening. So this is good for your psyche to know so that you can weather through whatever happens. March 27th, Venus retrograde will form a conjunction to Neptune. She's going to speak with Neptune, that higher octave of love. Neptune in its shadow can be confusing and delusional. And in its higher octave, it can be so clear about unity consciousness, love, like the point of why we're here, the energy that animates all things. And Venus is that lower octave of that Neptune energy. She is the embodiment of love in this dimensional world, in 3 space, in our human existence. So this is like spirit and our humanity coming together. North node in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, and Venus retrograde in Pisces on March 27th. Right there, something beautiful is going to start opening up for our future destiny. It's just big. And no matter how it shows up in your life, trust that on the inside, things are getting recalibrated and reformed. I also wrote down baptism. when I was listening to an astrologer talk about this, what occurred to me was the image of baptism, this North Node conjunction with Neptune and Venus in Pisces. I did this with my dog. I brought my dog's ashes to India and I went into the Ganges with her ashes. So I was holding it. And when you're in India, you go in fully clothed. I was holding on to a big chain inside the Ganges River in Rishikesh, and I baptized myself. I took all of it backward and laid into the water and let the ashes go and purified myself, baptized myself. That's the energy of this March 27th. So you can see that everything you've been doing to awaken your senses, to allow the aperture to open so that more light can come in and activate the new codes. All of that through refraining from eating, through refraining from arguing, through refraining from throwing gasoline on the fire, being in that humble, quiet space until this place could really open up something for you. And that's not all that's happening. That will signify the big completion. And March 30th, Neptune moves into Aries at the 0-degree point. This is the initiation of something new in the higher octaves of love. And the 0 degrees Aries is like a start codon in the gene keys. It's initiating something new that will be felt throughout the globe because it is a cardinal world axis point, that 0 degrees of Aries. So we're playing in that 0 degrees because the Venus is going to move over it and back again. And then Neptune is moving out, and then Neptune will go retrograde later in the summer and then come back. So we have these moments where we get to recalibrate ourselves to the new normal. And then, friends, it just keeps getting better. So remember this. April 12th, 13th, we have Venus direct in Pisces. This could be like an outpouring of money, of love, of abundance, really the gift after all of the spiritual practice and the purification. And then finally, I'm going to end with this, April 30th to May 4th. We're going to have, again, Venus conjunct Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. So remember, she's moving backward into Pisces, and then she's going forward through Pisces. And that's where we hit on the April 12th and 13th. That's where money, love flows, that we got flow going on here. That's that crossing over where Venus joins Neptune at the 0 degree point. And here we go. We are now in a new normal. This is going to be really beautiful. This is the beginning of the new projects and new initiatives. And by this point, my course, Your Divine Direction, will be over. So you will know at this point what you're focusing on, what you're launching into, what are your new codes. I'm just really over the moon about it. I'm excited about it. Super beautiful. And thank the goddess, right? I mean, we need this. We really need this. So that's April 30th to May 4th. That's that transit of 0 degrees Aries. And then she is moving faster than Neptune, and we'll keep moving on through Aries, where Neptune will hang out at that 0 degree point for a while. So again, we're seeding things for the next at least 4 years. These, like a new business, a new relationship, a new family dynamic. Maybe you get pregnant and you're going to have a baby, and you get a new job, you start a new venture because you let go of the old ones. I mean, who knows? We all are painting our canvases in very different ways. So we won't really know until we're there. But I wanted to share that with you today so that you can take the long view, which isn't even that long. It's 40 days, 60 days. big, big, big transformation happening. Nurture and care for yourself. Support the nurturance and care of your loved ones. And don't add any gasoline to the fire. Sending you lots and lots of love. Let's gather all the energy that we have generated, beam it out. May all beings benefit from the merits of our efforts.